Oh, we're live to go.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we're live. All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the final day of the Mario Kart tournaments here at Momocon 2025.
Momocon 2025, dude. This is the race day. This is the first day. We're finishing all of our races today. We're finishing our 2v2s, our FFAs. Everything's getting done today. We're about to start with our first round of FFAs here in just a few minutes.
Yep, it's going to be an incredible day, and we're here to start you off here on the Mario Kart Central broadcast. My name is HBBowsy. To my right is Mr. Scooty, and this is our players that we're going to be casting here in the free-for-all quarters. ZekiCat, Blaze, Flo, Nick, Zay, Luckyo, Garchomp, Power, Jidin, Bean, Ricky, and O2B.
You got any predictions for out of this from what you've seen so far through like this whole weekend of what we've got?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Obviously, the top 6 move on, so any of these players could make it in. We have the crowd cheering behind us as we are all in the lobby, all with the same Miis as well, so that's not going to be any confusing once we actually look into the lobby. But still, a lot of these players have shown that they're willing to make these moves. I already have seen Flo and ZekiCat earlier in the other rounds, so these are I've also seen Ricky as well in these other rounds. So a lot of these players, high skill. Any of them could come out on top today.
Yeah, and exactly. Like we just watched on our last qualifier yesterday, the night we had Blaze just walk away with it. You know, and we have our 12 over here in our 12th position. We have OTB who skated in by a point at the last second there last night. I mean, it's gonna be super excited. I'm gonna say we're looking at, you know, ZekiCat just came off of a fresh win at SNS in Las Vegas last weekend. We got Blaze and Flowx, I think, are going to be my 2 top picks that I'm going to have that are going to be moving on, definitely, for sure. But man, it's like it is. It's a free-for-all. It's a crazy weekend. You got the best of the best out here. I mean, let's hope for the top 6 and move on.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to start out here with Mario Circuit DS for our first race of the quarterfinals. We'll see who's going to be able to get to take the victory here. We're going to be spectating mostly these 4 players, ZekiCat, Blaze, Flo, and Nick on the broadcast here. But anything else is up in the air as we get started with the quarterfinals.
Yeah, a fun thing to know about this is we only have 1 inward player in this whole round, so we'll see if they actually get any track picks and if they can make any difference in there. I believe it's Garchomp is our only inward player that we have in this tonight. Any strategies you have on this map going in here?
I mean, it's definitely an interesting map. You can front run like we see ZekiCat doing, taking the NIS there on that corner, but you can also be in the back like what Blaze and Flo are currently doing. They're staying toward the back, trying to get those more powerful items and make their way up to the front. Flo, unfortunately, has no item on the second set, so they're going to have to wait for the third set to get any sort of semblance of an item to get themselves up to the front. You already have a blue shell coming out on lap number 1, so ZekiCat already in danger of losing that lead before they even cross the halfway point, and a shock as well.
I mean, man, there's players with these shocks, man. They're using them before the blue shell's even hitting, so the blue shell's really not doing any damage. By, you know, if you're watching your mini map, you gotta wait for that blue to land.
We're currently at an any % run of how many times we can get every Mario Kart item in one race right now. Flo making their way all the way up to first. Again, I talk about being in the back. They made their way up to first with a star in hand as well, so they are well prepared for anything that comes their way.
So right now, he just needs to try to predict when that shock's coming and like pop it when the shock's coming, or hold it for a blue coming, or I mean, someone may throw a red forward and he may have to use it.
I mean, the magic number when it comes to the lightning bolts is 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds, another lightning bolt could spawn. So there is a chance that the lightning bolt could be in play right now. And Flowx, as tradition, using the star in the event that one does end up coming up. But now you're starting to see a lot of these people toward the back starting to make their way up. Blaze, ZekiCat, Nick, all making their way up and trying to make their impact here. Blaze with that crazy hit as well is going to have every item in their hand, just getting all the way up to the front, throwing the bomb forward, trying to get anybody here, but it's not going to hit anyone there on that hairpin turn. But it doesn't matter. The star and the triple mushrooms bringing them all the way up to second
place. Like, wow, that was an amazing finish for Blaze right there. We just saw him come from what, from 10th with a crazy 8 coming through the trees. Just watch out if he's coming through. I mean, he's gonna just get everybody in there, and it looks like we had Luckyo finishing out with the bottom on this one.
Yeah, Luckyo getting last. Not a good start so far for Luckyo. Again, this is a player who's had a lot of strong points. Has won Nintendo's official championships, and also coming off of the championship, the Catalyst, earlier this year. So it's a massive thing to see Luckyo at the bottom. But it's interesting to see like just how like Luckyo being in that bottom position. But the good news is that's only one race. Anything can happen.
You're allowed to have one bad race. You know, I mean, maybe 2 and still be able to make it. But I mean, we're fighting to get the top 6, and I believe we're only doing 8 races, or I'm not sure if we're doing 12 today. I'm going to find out.
Yeah, we'll hopefully find out soon, because our last round was 8 races.
And now on final day, I think we are doing 8 or 12. gonna get the download on that. But we still have a lot of time, especially that only being the first race coming in here. Oh man, it's just seeing so much. There's so much skill that we have out here for this whole weekend. Make sure that you're tuning in for us too. We have the 2v2s coming up. As soon as we're done with this cast, we'll hop right over to the other to our other cast. We got Batter Cookie playing in there with Sneaks, which is my son, and that's my pick for winning this weekend. But we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, also the USMK channel is also going to be streaming. To my left over here is the main stage, which is where other players are playing. The USMK channel will actually be broadcasting that for the entirety of the day. So we still got a lot of action, whether it's just right now or it's later in the day. So it's going to be a fun day of Mario Kart to end off Momocon 2025. And we're going to Big Blue for our second track.
Yeah, and we're going to start off here watching ZekiCat. But yeah, this is one of my tracks that I really have learned how to predict where the shock's going to come for me.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
so much playing this one, and it's right after the cannon. If you need to have some kind of dodge right after the cannon before you get to the second set, the double set. But this one's really interesting too. I see a lot of people go and bag this one too, but this is a really heavy front running track.
Yeah, especially. You'll see a lot of people front running because it's that linear structure. It's harder to really make a lot of shortcuts. If you're going to make a lot of those shortcuts, though, it's going to be on lap number 2. Lap number 2 has the most amount of shortcuts of any part on this track, and you'll eventually see why as we take a look here at our players.
Yeah, and this is a section-based track, so when we're talking about lap 2, you're going to see as soon as they get to the next set of checkpoint, they'll be instantly on lap 2.
Yeah, so more so section 2, not really lap number 2. ZekiCat, however, is currently leading the charge with Garchomp at the front. An inside drifter, we talked about that inside drifter. Garchomp being the only inside drifter in this pool right now, and is currently leading the charge of Yoshi's with that Peach here in this round. So obviously, they're making a statement here on Big Blue.
Yeah, ZekiCat doing it, knowing he's throwing his red because he can chain over his items to get the double box right here, get himself back up to 10 coins, and then end up with some double defense. And we'll see if he's going to throw it before the other doubles come in, but this is about time when we're starting to see some shots.
First red shell comes in from ZekiCat, throws in the second. Garchomp now hit out, and now ZekiCat with the lead with a double red shell in hand.
Rewarded with double reds.
Blaze, however, Blaze is off the track.
Pulling it too tight inside.
Sometimes you got to be careful about those corners. You can't go too tight. Thankfully, Blaze, however, has triple greens and a red shell. Going to be back spamming those greens, trying to keep their position safe. Meanwhile, Flo bringing a bullet bill up from the bottom of the pack all the way up to second with that.
With a bullet bill, in the last corner, just bagging a bill all the way up to the front.
Yeah, definitely a good performance there from Flo, getting all the way up to second, being able to bring that bullet bill up. And again, I talk about Luckyo. Last in the first race, already got 5th there, already up to 10th in the standings. Yeah. So already marginally making their way back up through the rankings.
Yeah, and you see, ZekiCat just landed himself a first, and he's at, 20 points there? That's fantastic moving up. Yeah, like I said, he just won his first SNS race here in Las Vegas last weekend, last Saturday. We're going to find out. We're all having predictions for who's going to win SNS tonight. They're still going to have one in Las Vegas, even though half of the players, half of the champions, are all here in Atlanta here at Momocon.
So what you're saying is the highest probability of a new champion in SNS this year.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're over here having side bets of who's going to win, how many people are going to show up, because we're all here. We're surprised they even have one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll see what the next track selection is going to be. I'm getting a look over to my right, because right to my right is where all the players are. And I see a lot of a track selection. Sherbetland coming up. A couple of people did list Sherbetland as one of their favorite tracks. Most notably, I believe, if I try to find it here.
Yeah, because that's probably one of the most popular tracks I've actually seen this weekend, is so much Sherbetland.
Yeah, Luckyo, for example, Sherbetland is his favorite track. That's a champion that you're talking about right there, so Luckyo probably wants to go to it. But instead, we're going over to Rome Avanti, so our first tour track of this cup.
Yep, and some of the DLCs, a lot of the tour tracks haven't getting picked. It's strange. A lot of these guys don't like to come in and pick all these tour tracks, which is surprising to me that they're so anti-tour.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how Rome works here as we get to see how everyone's going to be going out here.
We're starting into race 3 here.
And race 3 begins here on Rome Avanti. ZekiCat leading the charge immediately. And you're going to see a lot of this sort of action that ZekiCat is doing. You're going to see this snaking sort of strat, which is where you just keep chaining drifts over and over, especially on these tour tracks. The road is much wider, and already you see Luckyo taking that lead away. Again, a player that we've talked about, a champion in Mario Kart, a Nintendo champion, a Catalyst champion, leading the charge on Rome.
Yeah, and you'll see these players that are running on Mr. Scooty. Mr. Scooty, you need to constantly be drifting all the time in order to get all the perks out of that cart.
Exactly.
You know, just literally keep going drifting, and like you'll see here, you know, they're running Teddy Buggies. Teddy Buggies is a lot easier on the handling. You know, you don't have to be constantly drifting as much, but you'll see these bikes out front here, they're just going to constantly be drifting, and it's one of the downsides I see that we've had to deal with lately is just constant drifting.
Yeah, definitely. Those Mr. Scooties, not as much at top speed as most other carts, so many players are going to have to drift there. Blaze dropping off that bomb there in...
And then rewarded with another bomb.
Yeah, they get another bomb. Use one, get one free.
He's chaining bombs for bombs, and everybody's slowing down, so we know what that is. That means that there is a blue shell inbound.
Yeah, but Blaze has a very good tool to get rid of that blue shell here. Flo's actually getting hit by the blue shell, but will dodge it anyway with the mushroom. Beautiful execution from Flo, even though they weren't in first place. But you know what? The blue shell fixed favorite sometimes.
Yeah, and exactly. Flo's in a dangerous spot here because he can't really throw the red forward because it's going to target that bomb, and most likely he'll be impacted with that. So he's just going to let him kind of run with that and just staying wide, make sure he doesn't get hit with that bomb.
Yeah, your best bet right now for Flo is to just play safe right now. You can try to play aggressive with this banana if you want to try to snipe out Blaze for that top spot, but you really just got to play safe right now because Blaze going to be taking the Nisk here, going to be trying to make sure that no one else takes that shortcut, and meanwhile Flo taking the wide angle, saves himself from potential doom of the bomb, and is just going to be gliding themselves over to second place.
I don't know what he was trying to chain to get rid of the banana for, but I mean, I think I would have chained both of them if anything, or maybe even taken that risk and thrown it forward. You know, and just see if we could get him. But yeah, I mean, like you see, these guys know how to play, and he already knew he was would have got hit with that bomb. He lets go ahead and, you know, let him win. You know, instead of throwing that
exactly.
forward.
Don't risk ruining your race to try and ruin somebody else's. That's sometimes the main philosophy of Mario Kart. The best thing you can do is play safe, and especially if you're someone like Flo, playing like currently first place in the standings, 39 points to your name. You don't want to risk losing all of that by just trying to risk going for first place. So you might as well just play safe. You know you're doing well so far. Don't risk going
hold on
any
to it. You know you're still getting 12 points out of that. You know, if you can hold on, maintain your second place position. You know, you're giving up 3, but I still believe it's just top 6 that are moving on here.
Yeah, exactly. Top 6 are moving on. And speaking of that, if you are in that top 6 or on the border of that top 6, you're the kinds of people who would want to try to play more aggressively. If I saw correctly, I believe the gap between 5th and 8th right now is about 3 points. So that puts into perspective just how tight these players will have to play here as we're going to be heading over to our next track, which is Yoshi's Island, another track that a lot of people have as their favorite track, including ZekiCat.
Yeah, which you might have heard ZekiCat. He got hell yeah, he was excited. He's going to go this one. So now, you know, he's got to, you know, come in here and perform. You know, this is his track pick. It was what he picked.
You have to perform if it's your track pick. This is a track that you prefer here. So we'll have to see if ZekiCat is able to perform here on Yoshi's Island here. Take a look at our competitors here. You see Blaze is going to be leading out the charge of Yoshi's here, but meanwhile Nick is the imposter Birdo in Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and still we got both. You know, we got Flo and Blaze both running. We'll see if they change it up this time and, you know, swap out who gets to run in first.
Well, it seems like ZekiCat wants some involvement in this, already going all the way up to the front of the position, first place, and starting to run away with it. Blaze, however, is going to be taking a backwards approach. They're going to be going to the back of the pack here, willing to go for more powerful items and then bring them up to the front, even also willing to pick up some loose change on the side of the street in order to build up their coin count.
Missing that one coin there, but able to pull up a bunch right there.
Yeah, definitely. And if that's something you'll also see some of these players do. Sometimes they'll back up not just for items, but also for coins.
Yeah.
The more coins you have, the higher top speed you have. So right now, Nick has 8. If they get 2 more coins, then they'll reach the maximum amount of top speed that they can get from coin counts.
Exactly. And then as soon as once you're at 10 coins, you know, you just start working on your time trial lines. Just literally don't got to go out of the way, pick up any more coins. Just keep going. But, you know, here we are at the start of lap 2. We're already seeing bills flying by already.
Yeah, we see bullet bills, crazy 8s. Nick has a star in hand, going to be probably forced to use it here to get rid of that red shell. So
just barely in the nick of time.
Yeah, thankfully able to use that star in time here. ZekiCat still toward the front. Garchomp is taking over the lead because a blue shell did hit ZekiCat earlier, so they are a little bit on the disadvantage. They're actually willing to go for a wider angle here, letting Zach in front of them so that they don't have to worry about that triple green.
Nobody got the cloud.
Oh, there's the cloud.
So Garchomp's going to get past right here because they were able to someone's able to hit the cloud behind him.
Yep, Zach and Zeki in the best advantage here. Final lap here on Yoshi's Island. ZekiCat has the mushroom in hand, but again, might just want to try to play it safe here. They don't want to go for that risky play. If they are going to go for the risky play, it's not going to come until much later.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to hold on to this mushroom and maybe try to cut through this section, but it's real dangerous with triple green. But he's going to have to use it because he's got a red coming in on him. Oh, and he got a red. We got a red skip.
Yep, red just completely skips, just on the wrong lane and couldn't transfer over. Blaze, however, starting to catch back up, has triple mushrooms to their names. This could be pivotal if no one hits that bridge. As I say that, Zach hits the bridge, so now the triple mushrooms can still be used here as Blaze wants to try and do that, but he's going to be getting hit with the shock instead, and someone dodges his Nick with the star, gets hit by the drag green shell, the drop green shell, the worst situation.
Oh, and I see ZekiCat just finished right now in 7th.
Oh, not good for ZekiCat either.
I mean, right there on the bridge, you saw that shot come. He was holding mushrooms on the bridge, so that means all those mushrooms just landed on the bridge.
And now ZekiCat.
Someone was able to pick it up, but you saw there were so many shells on that bridge, everything. There was so much chaos that happened. We just saw the whole lobby change positions.
The biggest killjoy to a lightning dodge is the dropped items that everyone can have. If everyone's dragging an item or someone has triple items, those are on the track and can mess you up. Even if it's a mushroom on a tight corner, you can mess up that corner and then have to recorrect yourself. So unfortunate there for some of our players, but for other players, that was a big guarantee, including for 02B, who got first place in that race and is starting to make their way up to the standings, making sure that they can get themselves locked into that top 6. For ZekiCat, that was a bad race. Now they're at 6, 3 points away from being knocked out of this round.
We'll see if 02B skirts in just like he did yesterday. Just right at the last second, he made enough points just to get in there, was fighting just enough, made it in by a point. You know, we'll see if he can start doing the same thing. I mean, a lot of these guys realize, like, hey, I just got to do just good enough just to get top 6.
Well, unfortunately, if you're Garchomp, you're going to be having a rough time as you're now on Bowser City, which is not good for an inside drifter. This is probably the worst track for an inside drifter that you probably could have had right now.
And, you know, there you saw me starting off in 4th place, you know, so, you know, we'll see. But I still see some inwards still can do pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, inwards can work on this track. It's just very difficult. And you already see Garchomp going out to the back. They know that this is a hard track for them, so they're going to go to the back, try to item smuggle a bit, and then make their way back up to the front.
Absolutely. We've got Blaze fighting out front with ZekiCat right now for that first position. And, oh, man, it looks like Blaze getting some first place items, and ZekiCat pulling defense.
Yeah, might as well. Just being too close to first place can make it so that you get first place items. It's a distance-based item system, which means that the farther away from first place, the better items you can get. That's why Garchomp is all the way in the back there. That means they're going to get the most powerful items here. Blaze going to be taking the drift onto the glider, using that vector glide strategy where you have more speed if you drift off the glider and are swerving into the turn here.
Well, you know, and then now, you know, him seeing with, that kind of saved him. I was like, ZekiCat's out front with probably no defense as he went through that other set. You know, they threw that red forward and he forced him to use it. I mean, the bomb, I might drop it right here and just try to punish everybody down.
Yeah, but they drop it on the corner. They actually get Blaze right on the edge, and Nick is caught out by Well. ZekiCat defending this first place position here on Bowser City. They're going to be falling back, though. Going to be going back to 11th here. And the blue shell out for ZekiCat. Doesn't look like they have anything to defend against it, so they're going to be getting hit here and then losing a lot of spots here.
Yeah, I mean, that bomb really brought that pack so close together.
It's a cluster of Yoshis and Beaches and Birdos. The final lap begins here on Bowser City.
We'll see what Nick can do with these mushrooms. But man, these rings have been coming out like crazy lately.
He also has that ghost to be able to stop any sort of momentum. Take someone's mushroom.
He's just praying right now for that shock to come.
If Nick's able to get a good mushroom here, they're going to be able to make this final cut here on this final corner.
Is he going to use one through the box? It is. Okay, he's going to save. I might have saved them all to try to get through this cut.
Yeah, they're going to be able to use that mushroom. Tries to go for the boomerang snipe, but misses it onto Blaze. Going to be securing a 6th place finish here on Bowser City. And remember I talked about Garchomp being an inside drifter? Still 3rd place. Doesn't matter. Inside drifter.
So we have a 1 point difference from 6th to 7th, and it looks like a 2 point difference into 5th right now. It looks like going in there.
37, 36, 35, 5th to 7th. So that means it is all tied up. And especially the biggest thing, 2 of our people that were watching, Nick and ZekiCat, are currently out of the standings. It's actually 32 points for ZekiCat, so it's technically about 5 point difference right now between 5th and 8th right now. So anything can happen right now.
Well, you know, the Yoshi Island, like, really hurt him. You know, he had a really good run out front, but then that shot came when they were on the bridge, and it just knocked him back and cost all those extra points where he should have still been in the running right there.
Exactly. So I mean, that's the thing about this. You have so many professional players in this grouping. Anything can happen. Again, we talked about so many of these players. Luckyo is currently struggling right now in this qualifier. Again, that's a champion.
Yeah. And
that's
he just he was just doing from Nintendo North America and just took that a few months ago.
He just took the Catalyst Championship earlier in the month as well, early in the year as well. So. Again, anything can happen right now, and it's gonna be interesting to see how these players are able to adapt, how they're able to make the track selections work in their favor here. So it looks like we're gonna be heading over to.
We got a couple players want to play pinball, and a couple players still want to play Sherbert.
Well, the good news is they're getting pinball, so we're going to Waluigi pinball here for our sixth race, if I'm not mistaken.
And you know, this may help on the inwards. You know, this has a lot of tight corners that these inwards can really get through. You know, and he ended up being in third position at the last race, so our inward player might be able to, Garchomp might be able to pull through something on this. I'm sure he's definitely happy about this track.
100%. Definitely could see some improvement here from Garchomp as we take a look at all our players hopping right before the cannon, which is a faster strat, so don't be fooled about taking the trick. You want to hop on that cannon before you hit the glider so that you can actually gain a little bit more speed here.
You know, we saw in the top right corner, we saw Blaze out front itemless. He got screened out the last one. You know, I think he's just going to take the inside line and get a single item and pray that it's defense, you know, and just try to gain some time.
Yeah, you want to try to time trial this if you are Blaze right now. I don't think Zach got an item, but Blaze got a coin, so he did get 2 coins to his name. So we'll have to see if it's going to pay off here as they head into the pinball table. Forced to go for the single item, but it actually worked out because Zach went for the double items, got hit by the pinball.
Yeah, that worked out great, and he didn't end up with a coin.
Oh, boy.
And, you know, ZekiCat's out here with nothing to stop him. I mean, man, this is right now. Blaze is where he likes to be. He's out front running. He's going to be able to try to make that time get away. You know, he's going to start building up. He's only down 2 coins. He can pick one up here and then pick one up around the next ramp and then be set and just start time trialing.
And unfortunately, Blaze's only defense was stolen by the Ghost as well, so not able to take advantage of that defense. So thankfully, if they hold on to this coin, they will be able to get in that guaranteed defense.
You know, they're praying for a horn or a mushroom. You know, but
that's good as well. A bomb as well, drop it off in that corner. ZekiCat takes the wide angle, just avoids it, knows that was coming, so just completely avoids it, and is able to get that double box to try and avoid the pinballs here.
And Zeki, you know, making his way through, knowing that, like, if a blue were to come, he wants to hold on to that mushroom just in case he can get by Blaze and be back out front and just be running with a mushroom.
Final lap begins here on Waluigi Pinball, and the lead is taken over by ZekiCat here with double mushrooms in their hands, ready for whatever happens.
You know, we'll have to see. I thought maybe he would try to make himself a nice banana snipe out there. Instead, he leaves it out on the box, just trying to slow down another player.
I did see Blaze, I think, trying to hit a banana before they got hit by the blue shell there by the start-finish line. So probably was trying to do it earlier, didn't want to risk it this time.
Blaze definitely making time on ZekiCat, like coming, like he's definitely reeling him in really fast.
Yeah, I mean that's easy considering the Teddy Buggy has more top speed, so maybe ZekiCat forced to do all these drifts. And there's the blue shell, so ZekiCat forced to give up one of those mushrooms here. Is going to be able to dodge it, but now has to deal with no protection item, and Blaze with a perfect red shell hit takes away the lead. Blaze going to be taking first place away from ZekiCat, and ZekiCat still has not finished the race, trying to get across the line before the rest of the pack follows, and they end up falling back to 5th, but just because of no protection on that final set.
That gave him 8 points, but he's still on the cups. He's 2 points out of a tiebreaker for 6th.
Yeah, 2 points away from that top 6 right now.
So he reeled in 3+ points on that last one to get in, so he's just right there on the cusp. It can definitely happen. He still needs to stay consistent, get a top 5 or more to get in there and reel those points down and get in here.
It's definitely possible right now for ZekiCat. It still is a difficult situation, but as long as you can keep this momentum going, then you have a chance. Right now, Garchomp, Nick, Zach, and ZekiCat are all in striking distance. Look a little further back, someone 37 points as well, definitely could make it into this next round as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out as we go into these final couple of races.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing against the best of the best out here. I mean, and it's just, you're going to see that progressive throughout the day. You're just going to see it get harder and harder. I mean, and then item management comes into severe play here. I see a lot of guys that they'll play really nice. They won't throw their items backwards. Hopefully you won't punish them. and we'll see. But once you start getting these lobbies and everybody's throwing stuff backwards and backwards, it turns the tides. So I see some players that are really front running heavy. They're really nice, and they just throw their items forward at the finish line. They aren't backing everybody at the finish line. So like we just saw ZekiCat getting hit out a whole bunch right there at the finish line and going from second place to fifth.
Yeah, so that definitely can happen sometimes. If you're unlucky, you just can fall back farther and farther. So it's going to be interesting to see.
We're definitely looking for some Sherbert here. We got 3 guys going for Sherbert now, and then...
Nope, unfortunately we're going to DK Jungle instead.
Well, this is another good one for an inward bike as well. There's a lot of tight corners in this one.
Yeah, definitely. DK Jungle, a lot more tight corners. It can be a little bit harder for an inward drifter because of the bounce. There is a strategy we call the super bounce, which is much harder for inside drifters than it is for regular drifters.
You know, but Garchomp's still been holding his own on it. He's starting this race off in 4th position.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing really well. He's in the top 6 right now as it currently stands. ZekiCat gonna be trying to turn on smart steering.
And it didn't happen in time. I thought he had it in time.
He tried to turn it on, but unfortunately turned it off a little bit too soon here. But now he's just gonna have to play for power items in the back here.
Well, I mean, he's feeling the pressure. He's down 2 points right now. That's from the tiebreaker, and every one of those are getting an extra point. No matter what, they're at least gaining 1 point at minimum.
Nick, also someone who I believe is on that bubble right now, trying to get themselves back up, currently running in 4th, so they need to really start thinking about when they're going to make those moves. Decides to mushroom away from the fireballs, unfortunately can't avoid them fast enough, so they're just going to be backing up to grab that loose change.
Pick up some points, after that. So it looks like he's going to maybe even slow down and pick up some points here, it looks like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it can be worth it if you have 10 coins. You can just make your way to the front. ZekiCat! Oh, no. Oh, everything's going wrong for ZekiCat right now. First the smart steering, then gets hit by the blue shell and misses the ramp here.
He's going to be able to chain his items right here and possibly pull himself something great.
Oh, that is great. There is nothing greater than the item he currently has right now in his pocket. We'll see when he wants to use it, though, because obviously you don't want to give it advantage to everybody else. Uses it right there. Only one person dodges in that bullet bill. Yeah, but
he had flow out there on the glider. He should have waited till he landed or something, because you're going to maintain your speed if you're out on a glider.
Exactly.
But maybe he's looking at other people. He might not be worried about first and second. He doesn't necessarily get first or second. He needs to get top 5 at minimum to keep those points moving forward.
I mean, the big thing is, even if you wait, there is that possibility that more people will get more defensive items against the lightning bolt. So honestly, that was a good time for ZekiCat to use that lightning bolt. Now they're currently in 6th place, trying to make their way up. Power and Zach right in front of them. Those are some people. Zach is one of the people that they are chasing right now for that top 6 position. Doesn't get the smart bounce. Has one final item set to make it work, and it's triple red shells. That could not be a better pick if they asked for it. Zach getting hit out, falling back, but ZekiCat trying to finish it out. Power gets hit on the ramp, and ZekiCat finishes 4th.
I think that's going to give ZekiCat just enough to get back into the top 6 right now.
Yeah, Zach is one of the ones they're chasing, and right now, Zach and ZekiCat are tied 4-6.
And they're only, and also they're only down 2 points. They're tied at 49. 5th place is at 51. I mean, dude,
welcome to Mario Kart. This is what Mario Kart is all about. Yeah. Again, people say, how is Mario Kart supposed to be a competitive sport? This is how. Yeah. It all comes down to the minuscule points, the last second in these top 6. Maybe for first place, maybe it's a runaway, but sometimes it can be difficult to see what position you want to get here.
We got some guys that are running trying to get perfect. I want to win every race, but then we got the people that are mid-packers I'm just trying to get in.
Exactly.
It's I'm just trying to move on to the next round. So there's sometimes we got to battle for first, we got to battle for 5th and above. I mean, it is fantastic. There's so many different aspects of racing this whole thing.
Yeah, it's almost like an old style NASCAR points race. Make as many positions as you can to get as much points as you can. It's not all about the wins. That sometimes there have been drivers who have not won many races and have won the championship because they were just so consistent. Consistency is key here if you are in this qualifier. So it all depends on how these players are able to do here. Looks like our next race is going to be Tokyo Blur.
Oh, so we're going to another tour track, our second one of this heat here.
Yeah, this is another track that is also very heavy front running, and it is our 8th race, so we are going to 12 races. Yeah. So there is still time if you are not in this bubble to get into that bubble and try to pop it to get into the top 6.
So now if you are ZekiCat and everyone else that are tied down there at 6th place and 5th place, You need to get up to the front and try to get as many points as you can and stay consistent and get top 5. You can't really afford to have a bad race at this time.
Absolutely not. You need to be at the front. You need to be able to make those moves to get up to the front. And right now, ZekiCat getting that slipstream off of all of their competitors, trying to make their way to the front, but has to back up because Luckyo is dragging that banana in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, and then I don't know if he was gonna. I watched Blaze just go by someone with a red shell, and I was like, I don't know if he would have passed him because we're right in front of the item sets. I was like, man, he's gonna definitely dump that red on him.
Sets tries to hold it, wants to play more conservatively because, again, you never know what the person behind you can have. You can check your rearview mirror, but sometimes these players may not want to do that because they might just be too focused on the road in front of them.
Yeah, like we just saw, we just watched Zeki throw a ring backwards blindly, not even targeting anybody with it, just dumping an item, just hoping it lands on someone.
Boomerang's going to hit them, however, here as they head over to the final lap here with 0 coins in the pocket. Right now they're looking like someone who went through Artist Alley. They got no money in their pocket, trying to make their way to the front. Final lap begins here on Tokyo Blur, and a blue shell is in tow for Luckyo.
Does Luckyo have anything to defend it? No,
No, unfortunately not. Only has a banana that they could have defended against the red shell, but decides to save it because they don't want to risk another power item. And the boomerang comes out. Speaking of power, it's Power throwing the boomerang, sniping out Blaze and Luckyo, and taking the lead with triple mushrooms in hand.
I mean, the boomerang comes in so clutch. You get 3 throws with this thing. You know, your 3rd throw, it just keeps going and going. I mean, it's just dumping items. I mean, oh man, it's right there at the end. Watch out for them reds, but and they were able to just get through just before the next blue shell started coming.
Blaze thankfully able to finish out here with a 2nd place performance. Luckyo able to secure 3rd. ZekiCat does get 4th, which means they break the tiebreaker with Zach and are currently up to 4th in the standings.
We got 1 point between 7th and 6th right now. I mean, just sitting on it's still anyone's race. We got 3 more races we got to do on this.
Yeah, 3 more races. Well, technically 4. 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, we got 4
races left.
We got 4 races. We're going to this one, but
yeah, we're at the final 2/3 of the tournament right now. So this is where everything is really going to be playing out. This is when the players that are desperate are going to start playing a little bit more desperate. Players like Luckyo, who have not been doing well, they're going to start playing a little bit more aggressively. So maybe that can be good, but it can also open up the mistake factor. You can start making more mistakes if you're not careful with how aggressive you are.
Yeah, and you know, this is the first race that we're having of the day. You know, so you got to think, so a lot of these guys are going to be going in really good. You know, not be so stressed out and fatigued, have time to relax before the next heats come on. But we're in the quarter quals right now, right?
Yeah, we're in the quarter quals.
So it's like they're going to be coming up in just another after this, they're going to get an hour, like a minimum of an hour break out of here.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just like, man, it's like watching. I've watched it like with my son too. They play hours after hours after hours at high levels. Man, it really starts fatiguing you.
And some of them might not even be able to have a break because some of them might be in the 2v2 tournament that's happening right after this. Yeah, so they might be focused on that as well. So it's really just going to be a non-stop grind for some of these players. This is technically, in a way, their warm-up session for later today.
Well, and now here at Momocon, there's a lot of these guys that are out here staying. There's activities to do out here that are running to 2 and 3 in the morning, and there's a lot of guys that are out there going to all these different anime events and you know, all types of sorts of events that they have out here.
Yeah, some of these players could be all in it for the long haul. As we head over to our 9th race of the Grand Prix, and we're heading over to Koopa Cape here, which this is a track that can really be a mixed bag of either going to the back or staying toward the front.
Yeah, exactly. And this one's one where I definitely like to kind of stay mid-pack out here on this one and try to get some items for myself. I find that, you know, you're definitely going to get hit by a blue in an inopportune moment. So I like to try to get mid-pack, and then hopefully enough chaos happens right here in the tubes.
Yeah, it's ZekiCat trying to take advantage of the chaos right now. Currently back in 8th place after getting hit right before the waterfall. Is not opting to go for the items, which is a faster route, obviously. But that means you are 1 less item here. Your next item is on the next lap here. You see Nick back spamming on the waterfall. That is a very bad spot to get caught off. So is there where the blue shell ended up hitting Zay there. So now Nick taking advantage of all of that chaos happening in front of him and is now currently trying to take that top 3 position and run away with it.
Yeah, see right here, I'm usually holding it inside. I'm going inside, going around the trees, trying to get through the trees, taking the shortcut, trying to get this box, shaking my controller, coming off of this.
Oh, the bomb! What a dodge from Nick! Goes on the off-road and barely dodges the bomb placed right in front of him. Well played by Nick.
that he was able to go right just barely around, knowing that he could shake it and get a trick off there, get his speed right back up, and let gravity help you get back up to speed right there.
Yeah, cool birdos don't look at explosions.
Yeah.
That's the motto of the day here. Flo, meanwhile, toward the back of the pack here. This is someone who's mainly been toward the front of the standings, now currently riding the back here. The Blue Shell, however, is going to be changing up this pack even more.
Yeah, see, there it is. Here we are on lap 3. Blue Shell, we just saw the Blue Shell passing. Again, this is one of the tracks that I'm usually always seeing at least 2 blues. I mean, this one, that's why it's like, I always try to stay a little back, and usually in these hallways right here, I'm usually getting, blues are coming through and you can't get out of the way. I mean, they're taking these fast lines.
Top 3 is right now Zach, Luckyo, and Nick, but Zach ends up falling back. Goes for the red shell play on Nick to try and stop them in their tracks. Does Nick go for the risky play? They try to go for the boomerang throw, but it goes way too high. Luckyo taking the win here on Koopa Cave, which is massive. Again, a player who's been toward the back, finally finding some strides and finding some momentum to bring them all the way up right now to 64 points, and now in 6th place.
Yeah. ZekiCat now down, just like you just see it, one good race changes the whole dynamic. ZekiCat just knocked down to about 8th place out of that one.
Yeah, like one race can change your entire dynamic. ZekiCat finished 10th, I believe, on Koopa Cave. So they fell back a lot more than they really wanted to. And now they're in such a tight position. They're currently 3 points out from the top 6 right now. So they need a good finish. They need to continue. They need to get some good finishes here, because one more bad finish, and you're looking at desperation mode.
Yeah, that's it. And that's when people start pulling out the baby parks and excite bikes and all that. Like just desperation. Try to get something lucky in there, And I saw Zeke was picking Mary Mountain here. He's hoping for some Christmas luck and everything on this next one coming out.
I mean, we're almost in June. Christmas in June it can happen. Yeah. Christmas in July as well.
Christmas in July, yeah. But we're not in July. Wrong track.
It's wrong holiday. Memorial Day weekend this weekend. So we'll have to see what track is going to be picked here. It looks like it's going to be Sky Garden, which I'm already hearing someone cheer. Yeah. I know someone said Sky Garden is one of their favorite tracks.
Well, yeah, this is one last night. I saw a lot of change up on everything.
Sure.
This one, you don't need a mushroom to go through, but the hopping is it's slower, but you can still make it. But the mushroom's so fast going through this.
Yeah, sure enough. I look at my information here. Guess who says Sky Garden is one of their favorite tracks?
I'm gonna say this is Garchomp.
No, it's ZekiCat.
Oh, ZekiCat.
ZekiCat loves Sky Garden. It's one of their 3 favorite tracks here, so they are probably one to watch here. But already 0 items in the first 2 item sets.
And he ended up screening himself off of that one, going a little bit wide and getting off. We'll see if he can get items here. Oh, just barely.
Yeah, barely able to get the double set here. We'll get the ghost and the mushroom, so he's able to take this shortcut here and take someone else's mushroom. So unfortunately, someone not able to take that cut as helpful.
Yeah, hopefully he got someone right there in the cut, taking the mushroom just as you're going through. That's one of the worst things that happens when I'm playing is I'll be going through the shortcut and the mushroom just disappears.
I swear, man, the ghost always goes for me. It doesn't matter how many players have items, it always goes for me.
Yeah, hardly ever if I ever pull a ghost, I hardly ever pull a coin.
It's interesting to see how many people are bagging here on this track. We have Nick back here in 7th place as well. Someone who I believe is also on that cusp right now, trying to get some more points to make their way up to the front. I believe Luckyo is also behind them. Yeah, the Black Birdo of Luckyo is behind them as well. So a lot of players willing to stay down to the back, trying to make their way back up to the front here on this final lap.
Yeah, and Nick was able to use that star and hold on to all those mushrooms and able to just get through it, which is going to help him through here. I'm going to see if he's going to...
That's the worst time for a ghost to happen. Now you got to rely on the final item set.
Just lay all the fire in there.
Stop everyone from taking the cut, not able to take it well yourself. Another ghost! All right, this is just targeting at this point. Nick gets ghosted twice in like 5 seconds. I'm pretty sure this is targeted. Someone needs to check the B-roll. Make sure that this is not actually targeted harassment. Meanwhile, Luckyo getting 3rd, Flo winning the race here. So Flo and Blaze have pretty much locked themselves in.
There's OTB, just like last night, coming in right in the last races and making it just in the last couple of races.
So now, we talked about how close the gap is right now. 7 points is the gap between 6th and 7th right now. ZekiCat currently 7 points behind O2B. So right now, ZekiCat needs a miracle in these last 2 races, because if not, they're on the cusp of elimination.
Yeah, and I'm hoping ZekiCat can move forward, because we've got, I think, only 5 of my hometown heroes that are still in in these races versus with 2v2s and FFAs. But FFAs, I believe we only have 4 of our locals that are still here in competition, and ZekiCat being one of them.
If you're from Las Vegas, make sure you're cheering in the crowd for your Las Vegas locals, especially ZekiCat. They are looking to advance over to the semifinals and represent your kind. We're going to see who's up, what track is up next. We're going to Waluigi Stadium, which ironically is currently being played on the main stream at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the tracks that I'm glad I'm not going to be seeing anymore with Switch 2 when this comes out, because this one has been so much of a nightmare for me as we've been playing our local homelands. And I've played this, and it's just so random. And it gets picked so often.
It is such a technical skill track. Like, this is one of those tracks where, like, the best of the best show what they are made of. You'll definitely see it here as we are heading over to one of these quarters here from any of our players, because they're probably all going to be attempting it. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Blaze is going to be the one who's going to be attempting it here. The mud cut here, that left side that you see where Blaze was, that is actually not off-road. That is actually normal terrain. So that actually is normal speed. You don't lose any speed by going over that terrain. So it actually can be used as a viable strat to get a faster time on this track.
And Blaze taking that outside line out there, going to the far right instead of cutting it inside, because he knows most people take the left inside line. Maybe to avoid a lot of the shells and everyone picking up boxes, but not the best pull, but I think he's going to hold on to that star for that dirt cut coming up and just blast through that. And it was like ZekiCat getting smart bounce off of one of these green shells.
Yeah, ZekiCat currently trying to make their way back up to the lead here. Has this star to be able to take over this mud cut. So now it's going to be a matter of if they can make their way back up. They're going to be going over for this strat. So this is a strat that Waluigi Stadium specializes in, where you can just hop over this anti-gravity pad ever so slightly and keep getting a speed boost every single time you do it. So ZekiCat and everybody else is pretty much going to be taking full advantage of that cut right now. But now it's all up to this final lap here. ZekiCat, again, needs a good finish. And unfortunately, the person that they're chasing is currently in second place.
Yeah, he's got to be looking for that OTB. He's got to be able to get him down, make him have a bad race. I mean, he's also, and ZekiCat's got to have a good race to try to make up those 7 points difference. I mean, and having that through this cut,
the boomerang gets shot out by the super horn. That is not ideal. You lose one of the most powerful items late game, and they get hit as well. Still staying alive, though, just barely, but still falling all the way back. ZekiCat falling all the way down through the standings. Just trying to find any sort of momentum, but currently in 12th place. Triple mushrooms at a star. It's not going to be enough to catch up.
And there's
ZekiCat.
But look,
OTB's right in front of him, though.
OTB's right in front of him.
Not too many
points. I think OTB looked like he got about 9th or so there.
Yeah, but it's still going to be difficult to come back from a last place position.
Oh.
ZekiCat all the way down to 10th.
Now Ricky down by 6 points, of getting in this thing.
Yeah,
apparently the cutoff's 80 points to get in.
I think, unfortunately, if 7 points is the cutoff, I think ZekiCat, unfortunately, is out of contention.
We got 2 people tied at 5th with 80 points.
They need to make up 13 points over the competitors, so they have to win this final race. There is no question about it. They have to win, no question.
They have to win, and the other people that are tied for 5th, one of them's got to do really bad.
Yeah, Garchomp has to do bad. Yeah. Like, all those players have to do bad. They cannot have a good race if ZekiCat wants to advance. That's just worst case situation for ZekiCat.
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised we haven't seen anything else super special getting picked out here. We got a couple of tour tracks getting picked. We still, hey, I'm happy to see that Sherbertland has not landed, because I've seen that played here this weekend so much, and realize how much I don't play that at home.
Yeah, we're already freezing here in the LAN center. We might as well not go to a freezing track to make it worse.
Yeah, it's been, the weather's pretty good, down here in Atlanta so far. It's, a little warm, humid outside, but come inside and over here, we're super cold over here, which is great. And then you'll walk through the convention, and that's pretty warm in there. So that's what I've been telling some people. They get really cold. I'm like, hey, we walk over there, go look at some stuff to buy, then come back. And I was like, we come from the desert. We love it being cold in here.
All right, well, for ZekiCat, this might be their Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
This was their track pick. This is their favorite track. This has to be the track that gets ZekiCat into the semifinals. If it doesn't work, the Christmas miracle is not real.
Yeah, and this is a track that I don't see get played a whole lot. So even when I'm playing lounges and stuff, like, this isn't a track that people pick a whole lot. So there's not a lot of play that happens on this one. You know, I see a lot of guys will always go up to the far left to get coins, but none of these guys chose to take that route to go get coins.
Luckyo and Flo actually did, so some of them did. I believe Nick also went on that route, so definitely some players wanting to try and take advantage of those coins here. ZekiCat, meanwhile, just trying to make their way up to the front here. Nick currently in fourth, however, just guarding that position, and able to avoid the smart bounce there with that drag banana, and now ZekiCat with the mushroom, all the way up to second, thanks in part to that mushroom, and now just trying to snake their way down the mountain.
And yeah, that's one corner that is super special in this whole game, that you'll see that people will actually skip the boxes just to shortcut through that corner. And you know, and that can come in if you don't have mushrooms, you can't take that shortcut. I mean, and that's one thing that I'm sure that ZekiCat's looking right now to hold mushrooms just to take that, because you can save so much time as your competitors are going for boxes.
Flo has a star, however, and also has a blue shell in hand, so easily can get rid of the leaders here. ZekiCat forced to use their super horn.
Yeah.
So right now Nick is in first. We'll see what Nick decides to do here. ZekiCat is going to take the shortcut here with this mushroom. It looks like Nick might be getting hit with this blue shell here. The question is, where does Nick go? Go for the wide angle, avoids the blue shell. ZekiCat takes the lead for now on Merry Mountain with one final lap to go in this Grand Prix. It all comes down to this.
So yeah, ZekiCat, this could be enough to get him in if he can make it. Now, I know he's sitting there looking for a mushroom, trying to get a mushroom. Oh man, he's got Blaze right behind him. You know he's going to chain his items right here.
Blaze is currently first in the standings. Do they want to keep ZekiCat out of first place? The answer is yes. Going to be forcing ZekiCat to use their protection item. The red shell also skips Blaze, and ZekiCat is the first target.
Oh, no.
Gets hit right there, but is still in the contention, still in second place, but they still need a first place. They only have a mushroom. Everybody taking the cut. ZekiCat falling all the way down. It looks like the Christmas miracle is not going to come true today for ZekiCat. They needed a miracle, and unfortunately, they came up dry.
Man, that was, dude, the red skip goes right past Blaze, and it doesn't skip Zeki, though. It literally goes and lands on Zeki, causing him the whole race.
And unfortunately, that's just how Mario Kart goes here, but we have our top 6 for the semifinals. Blaze, Flo, Nick, Luckyo, O2B, which we talked about having a rough performance but catching their way up, and Garchomp, the inside drifter, sole representation from this group, makes it in by 8 points over Ricky.
Yeah, see, and going in, I was figuring that we were going to have Flo and Blaze be our 1 and 2 out of here, but who actually took the whole lobby in this one? Was it Flo or Blaze?
It was Blaze who took it by 7 points.
Oh yeah, he ran away with it last night as well, too. So, I mean, these are definitely 2 of the competitors to definitely watch out for moving forward.
Yeah, so definitely. And hey, we get another vehicle combo.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yay!
5,000 coins collected.
Flo finally unlocked it, you know. I mean, maybe he's new.
Yeah. Wow, new player performing this well.
Yeah, 5,000 coins, you know.
Oh, we got 2 people collecting 5,000 coins. Wow. Wow, a lot of these new players coming out here.
Yeah, new players coming out. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll start picking gold parts down moving forward. You know.
Gold parts in the final race. You won't, but but no. What an amazing quarterfinals we were treated to here today, Mr. Scooty. Just absolute fun all across the board, and we saw some of the best competitors show their stuff here.
And an upset for some of my own locals from home. You know, one of our SNS competitors now out. We only have a few remain, and I know we still have Emery, we still have Batter Cookie, and we still have Yezi to go. I mean, I'll include Sneaks in there. You know, even the Sneaks moved to Florida. We'll keep in there, but we're trying to get all of us to move for, you know, the goal is for one of them to make it to the Grands at least, you know, or all of them to make it to Grands, but at least one. And like last year, the only one that was able to make it to the final Grands out of our hometown was Batter Cookie.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting to see how not only the Saturday Night Speedway folk do, but all of the rest of the folk do. But that's going to do it for us here on the cast here. But that's not it for our cast today. When we come back, more Mario Kart action is on the way, so don't go anywhere. More Mario Kart action live from Momocon 2025 right after this.